Hey, Doooovid here. Gonna play some chess. This new CrazyHorse variant, which is kind of like one board bug house, where when you take the piece of your opponent, you get that piece to place. Which bug house is one of my favorite games. So that starts in about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So looking forward to that. I did my live stream today at the battery show. That was pretty interesting. I had super chat, Josh Randell. Thanks for $1 house. I didn't see where when you take the piece of your opponent, you get that piece. I didn't see any super chats in there. That I didn't see any Israeli companies actually. A few people came over because they on my YamCon. And, obviously an Orthodox Jew, and talking to me about Israel, one Christian who loves Israel, another man engineer there, started talking to me in Hebrew, and so that was a nice, pleasant surprise. I'm not sure where I can take the piece of your opponent, you get. Okay, so I guess I'm going to plug in my microphone, so I only got a minute, 30 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to use this integrated camera and microphone. Works. Plug it in and change my OBS settings. So yeah, I've been enjoying this new. So I got less than a minute left on the video capture device. UBS live camera. Okay. Audio input. UBS live camera, so hopefully this will give me good quality. Let me see. Plug it in, change my OBS settings. So yeah, I've been enjoying this new. I got less than a minute left. Okay, I apologize. I'm not sure about the echo, but I'm going to be playing some chess. It starts in 30 seconds. I got today my Doooovid friendship between the German and American peoples of Doooovid that was given to me by the German embassy at the event today. I'm just going to tell people streaming. And let's play some chess. This has been very exciting. I'll be checking the chat periodically. So, I've thought through a few different openings that work better for this variant. So this e4, e5, knight takes, and then popping this knight right back out. It's unclear your best strategy to play here, but this is how I've been opening up. And, okay, I probably shouldn't have done that, but let's see what happens here. Open it up, pound this attack through, giving up possibly too much material. So we'll see what happens. I gave up a substantial amount of material. Could be it's going to be too much. Okay. Probably giving up too much material here for my own good, but yeah, I've probably just given up too much material, so it's going to be hard to come back from this. We'll see. It's time. He doesn't have much time. He gives me the queen. So now I'm just going to hope for a quick time win. Okay, I got a lucky time win there. That was the highest rated player that I played the first round. So that was a pivotal victory to get. So you can see how exciting this one board bug house is. I've been having a lot of fun with this. Hopefully the sound and everything is good. If he wants to trade, it's fine. Okay, he gives a queen for nothing. Will he fall for mate in 1? Queen on d8. Okay. Still threatening checkmate. 7 people tuning in. Appreciate that. Okay. Threatening taking here. Okay. This queen check, and queen takes pawn, and it will be mate. Still threatening checkmate. Okay, so Doooovid is in first place here. Thank God. I'm getting pretty good at this. You can see, because not so many people played this, the ratings are lower. So I'm under 2,000 at this. I think eventually I will be quite high rated at this. So 7 people watching. Not sure if any chess players or who's watching this, but appreciate people tuning in. So this is fun. So I'm playing a weaker player now, just 1155. So to go for my generic attack strategy, that's just the free material. It's more free material. Going like this. Like that. Okay. Maybe I didn't play that as good as I should have. See what's going on. Okay, that'll take. Knight here. Keep the pressure on. Bishop here. Just keeping the pressure on. Go back, double attack. Get some more material to add to the attack. Now I got some threats. His time is a problem. Okay, so that he's basically got to give up his queen, or I'm going to queen, protect the queen. So he's looking pretty good here. It's over basically. So you can see how fun it is to play this one board bug house, how different it is than regular bug house. Okay, thanks for tuning in, Spiritual. The lectures take a lot of research, like presentations take a lot of research. It's very easy for me to, just play chess, because, so the future presentations or various things, who knows, because I got to do a lot of research. I have Ask the Rabbi 10 and 11 coming up. I have a whole bunch, like the battery show I collected, all these pamphlets from hundreds of companies, and, once I'm done with this game, these chess, I'm probably going to spend the rest of the night tonight researching researching these companies and go back to the battery show tomorrow. Okay, I'm not sure, just pop a piece down. Okay. Okay, allows me in. Place some pieces there, get another pawn in here, threatening the knight, and he takes. Now I get the bishop, so I have the defended knight when I go there. That's a queen, and should be pretty rapidly checkmate coming up. So pawn there, he takes, bishop here, and knight check, and this will be mate. Mate here next move no matter what. Okay, so Doooovid is well out in the lead here. I got. Okay, so the second place is the guy who played the first round. He is the second highest rated player in the tournament. Okay, so he doesn't like me bringing the bishop out, but it allows me to get my knight in first, here, so then I get this knight in. And then I've been going like this because the pressure on f7 is pretty strong. Gets some pieces. He doesn't have a pawn, and you know, even just to play a bishop in there is fine because the bishop's a nice defensive piece there. Get my queen in here. I'm very happy if he takes that. That's great. I don't mind taking his knight, so I'll take that knight, and I'll pop another bishop in there. That's fine. So he takes like that. That's fine. So he sacrificed a little material. Okay. But he doesn't have... Okay, that allows my queen back there. You know, if he keeps on sacrificing material... you know, so now he's sacrificed a substantial amount of material. All he has is a knight. I could even just bring the queen out, and you know, he's rapidly running out of material, though I have to be careful. So he has absolutely nothing to place here, although he has that. Okay. Oh, I lost on time. That was bad. Okay, so now he is tied for first, but he has the winning streak, so I beat him the first time. You know, I was playing slow. I'm not sure if it was related to the talking. So let me just try to get some quick victories in here. Okay. Let's see. Okay, if he... Okay, so... What's going on here? Knight here. Okay. So it gave me some free material. Knight here is a threat. You know, rook doesn't quite mate. So this is looking good here, but you know, so I'm on his queen. He doesn't have any material. He gives me the queen. Okay, he doesn't have any material to block with, so he has to retreat with the knight, and that will be mate. So, 12 people watching. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, so you know, good games here. I've already played 6 games. I'm in second place. The person in first place, we went 1-1, but currently he's on a streak. So you get 2 points for a win, but if you get on a streak, you can get up to 4 points for a win. So the person's first place has advantage, having beat me more recently than I beat him the first game. So I need to get a streak going back here. Okay, it's going like this here. Pawn for nothing. Just check. There. Okay, it's... Oh, that wasn't mate. I thought that was mate. Okay. Check in here. Let's check. I'm on the queen. Okay, That's mate. I mean, he should have placed the piece there, so he could have prolonged the game. So I'm back into first. It looks like the man who had came into first lost the game. So puts me in good situation. I'll let him trade the queens because he doesn't have an immediate attack on me. Let's put a pawn here, be safe as possible. It's fine. Okay. Just get him there. It's fine. You can take there, but be a little bit careful. He doesn't have a knight to bring a check out on me, so it's got to be a tad bit careful. I just gave him a knight, so okay. Rook. Check. Knight in here, queen there is the threat. That would be checkmate. He doesn't have a knight check. That's mate. Okay. Doooovid clearly in first here. Thank God. Working out pretty good. Okay. Take that. And this safe. Okay. He does have a bishop and a knight. He didn't play, so just safing it up. And he could have popped that in on me. He was a little bit more aggressive. Thank God I got a time advantage here. Get some room around my king. I'll snap that bishop off. Okay. Check. So actually a knight, if he plays a knight, I have a smothered mate playing the queen here, and then knight there, checkmate. So if he's not careful and he places a knight down, that would allow me a smothered mate. But he's going to lose on time pretty quickly anyways. Okay, so now I'm threatening smothered mate. He falls for it. Okay. Thank God, 14 people turning in. Thanks, Church of Entropy, tuning in. I, showed you that I got my $10 super chat today, so I was pretty happy about that. Thanks to Josh Roybal. He's also a regular viewer and fan of Church of Entropy, so I assume that he would also super chat Church of Entropy should she have her 1,000 subscribers. Okay. I would like to safeten my king up, but I'm going to go straight in for the attack. Because, okay, so he allows me to take with the queen. Now I have substantial threats here. Pawn there. That's his queen. And this will be checkmate. Okay, and queen, there's checkmate. Okay. Doooovid well into first place. Full 8 points ahead of number 2. So yeah, I have a lot of studying to do on my for the battery show. I hope to stream there tomorrow. Because the reception wasn't so great, tomorrow I will probably just record it and upload it because the reception for the live stream wasn't good enough for HD. It's a free pawn. Okay. Yeah, this good for me. Just play it safe. Do one more. Just play it safe. Stay up on time. Nurture my lead. Okay, that's a little bit annoying. Ah, that's very annoying. I didn't mean to give him this. I forgot that that bishop would be hanging after that. That's a common trick in these, whatchamacallit, these single board bug house, those knight check maneuvers if you're trying to create an attack. That's one of the strategies. Okay. So he leaves a hole there for me. I'm going to take that, pop a bishop in there. I'm going to go in, pop another bishop in there. And, I'm just depleting his defense, so that's a queen. So here's knight check. Okay, bishop check because well, I was lost there. He actually had mate. Because of the queen, he would have had mate, but he lost on time there, so thank God. It looks like the number 2 lost again, so Doooovid has. Okay, so this guy is not happy to be playing me again, because I seem to be winning. Thank God I'm pretty good at this. This is almost more fun than regular chess. Okay, be a little bit careful. I'm just going to castle. Okay. A little bit careful, but I gotta take. Okay, so I'm gonna play the queen down. I'm not sure, give him a little pressure here. If he takes the bishop, okay, that allows me to place some protection. So you gotta be careful. He does have somewhat of an attack here. Okay, that's a good knight. So he only has a queen, he only has a pawn. Take that. Get the pawn in here. He's just giving up too much material. I gotta worry about time. He only has the queen. Be careful. Oh, I lost on time there. The guy got me. He was scared of me, and I just lost on time, unfortunate. I still got a pretty comfortable lead over the number 2. But that was an unfortunate loss. And this pawn. Okay, I'll take that. Take that. That. Okay, this forks his queen if he takes. Okay, that was crucial. That's fine. Okay, hopefully I have enough to mate him. Okay, sacrifice the full queen. Oh, I had mate anyways. I had mate anyway. I could just place the rook down, but this will be mate. Okay. So you see that second place is catching up. I need to keep my victories clear. Yeah, I don't think he has enough quick compensation there. Well, I didn't need to give him that knight to check on me, but this knight, check here, and I'll bring in a bishop just to be safe. Rook back. So here's a bishop. Okay, he gives me the queen. Non-threatening mate. He's in significant trouble here. So just retreat. Two different. Queen here is a serious threat. Okay, that's mate. Okay, thank God. Okay, so I'm playing number 2. So this is my chance to have clear first place because I'm playing the guy in second place. So this is a very important game. And he lets me get into this variation right away. Castle. And that. Get real careful. Yeah, maybe he just didn't see that the knight defends this square. He thought he had more than he did. So if he does the knight, that's fine. He can sack. It's fine. Bishop. If he blocks, I could take. Okay, the sack. And this knight in here, threatening knight takes pawn. I'm going to take this pawn. Back. Okay. He hangs the queen. Yeah, I'm not sure if he has a follow-up there. That's fine. Okay, I could sack because this knight blocks. Okay, so that put me in clear first, beating the number 2. So now I have a substantial advantage having beat the number 2. There's only 3 minutes left, so thank God. It looks like Doooovid is going to win another one of these. Thank God, praise the Lord. Basically do this for a mental exercise. Okay. Pressure on. It's pressure on him. It's fine. pressure on. And this rook in. Check. He gets the queen. So that can't be good for him. That queen check and this mate. Okay. So can I get one more game here? Thanks, Citizens Reporter. You saw my friendship between the German and American people pin. I was at the Battery Show today, and a whole bunch of German automobile companies came. The German embassy was there, and they gave me a pin of the German and American flag. Doooovid and the German people are friends. This isn't ELO, Jan. This is you saw the Chinese people here in Detroit for the Battery Show today. Tomorrow I'm just going to record it and upload it. This is a variant called CrazyHorse, so my rating is lower because this is it's a new variant. Okay, so I'm playing the number 2 again, and yeah. So I mean, he doesn't like that pin, but wastes a move, and it opens up his king. So I'm not sure. Now he's got to go back. I'm just going to castle. Oh, that was a mistake. That was a mistake. Okay. Let's see. So I could just sit it out here. So even if he's winning here, he doesn't have enough time to force me to move. So he doesn't have anything to block. So it's good. He doesn't have a good check. That's annoying. Rook in here. Okay. There's no more time, so. Okay, so Doooovid got a quick win there. First place in the CrazyHorse tournament. I've been doing pretty good at this. Thank God, everybody. I streamed that. Tell the people in the chat if they want to see my stream. So let me exit this out of. Let me stop the window capture and talk. So if there's any questions, now you just got Doooovid here. So I'm going to do some research on. I'm not a big expert on Bobby Fischer, so I'm going to show. I got a huge stack of these type pamphlets from the Battery Show today. So these are all companies that were at the Battery Show. Various companies, a lot of from China. So China and Korea. So here's a lot of Chinese companies that make batteries. International companies that have huge booklets of components that they make for manufacture. Italy, a lot of German companies. As I said, I got the pin from the company. So tomorrow, I hope because the reception there wasn't good enough for live streaming, I'll probably just record it and upload afterwards. So Doooovid will probably spend the rest of the night reading over these pamphlets from the show today, and be prepared to speak to a bunch of engineers and look around. I'd like to do more science-related programming and the history of science and technology. The future direction of science and technology is a big interest to me. I like this, whatchamacallit, this chess variant called CrazyHorse. So I'm definitely enjoying that quite a bit, and so I'm promoting the game. I seem to get do very well in these tournaments, and I was very good at Bug House when I played as a kid. So this like one board Bug House, I'd never seen it till recently. So tomorrow I won't be live streaming. I will just be recording and uploading because I wasn't able to get high quality video feed, and in order to see the stuff you need high quality video feed. There's a whole bunch of Chinese companies I have to look through. So it's too much for me to look through the bulletin and pull out the the Chinese characters, but in China they have these companies that make that make batteries, and in fact I was mentioning on my stream earlier today that although China makes some of the cheaper components, like you get cheaper batteries manufactured because they have kind of these like dormitory style construction facilities where the workers like live on the construction site. However, some of the top like electric trains and electric buses are coming out of China also. So there were hundreds of people from China, engineers specifically related to batteries, because Detroit is still an automotive center, and for manufacture, automotive is the largest segment. Almost, I think it's over half of all manufacture is related to the automobile company, because the automobile is a huge piece of machinery, and almost every person of wealth tries to obtain an automobile. Automobiles classically had the lead acid battery, but now the electrification of the vehicles. So there's all types of battery companies, and China's dominating the production of batteries. Just recently, we had a few companies that started making batteries here in Michigan. But basically, like China dominates almost all batteries these days, like made in China. Some of the technology, South Korea has very good technology. Germany obviously is the main, engineering. The Germanic people have been famous for engineering forever. So there's a lot of German companies also, and a lot of the Chinese companies have German counterparts. So I appreciate people tuning in. I just wanted to promote this CrazyHorse game. Thanks to Josh Randell giving me $10 in super chats earlier. I really appreciate that. So stay tuned tomorrow. I'll upload my video from the automotive conference, and China has a lot of billionaires. Some of these companies, it's hard to tell. Like you could have just one compound, one facility that makes one component and sells it to the automotive industry. So if they have one profitable component and they make a whole production line about it, but then they actually have like huge Chinese companies that are multi-billion-dollar companies, and some of these companies make like literally hundreds of thousands of different parts, like sensors or so. I'm just learning. Like I've been going to these shows for quite a few years. As I mentioned earlier, like when I first started going close to 10 years ago, Germanic companies really dominated. Lithium batteries. Also lithium, I believe lithium is heavily mined in China also, which might be also related to the dominance of China in the battery market. That lithium, I think China has some of the biggest lithium supplies in the world. So, and if you're here watching, okay, since you're here, Yuan, let me, you can see all these, booklets I have here, and Siemens, obviously Siemens, a big player on everything. Let me see some of these Chinese companies that I took. Okay, sorry about the dead time. So I'm going to spend the rest of the night reading over this. Like a lot of German companies, and Germany's still doing pretty good in terms of manufacture. I don't think. Germany might have its issue. This was the one I showed earlier. If you have any insight onto what this is saying, this is obviously some sort of simplified Chinese Hangei technology, and the booklet is joint. This is lithium battery supplier, and this is actually Japanese. So I'm sorry. This company is in Hangzhou, China, but it's a conglomeration with a Japanese company. That was the one I showed earlier, but I have like at least 10 of these. The Hydric Group was a German company. Fedco Battery. There were some Italian companies, some English companies. The battery convention is actually organized out of an English company, but they're not really, England's not dominant in the manufacturing, but still in the organization. Here's another Chinese company. This is out of the Fushan High-Tech Industrial District in Yantai, China. And what do we got here? So, I mean, they have their facilities, as I said, like if you're familiar in China, they have these kind of like dormitory style factories. And this is a pretty technical book that has like specifications. So they have hundreds of different devices, and the devices are based on, here's another Chinese company. There's no Chinese letters in here. It's all in English, but this is Power Road Renewable Energy, Sarah Lee from Haicheng Zainan. So I mean, not all the Chinese companies have their stuff in Chinese, but just to see that, I mean, there were some South Korean companies, but China's extremely dominant. All the shows that I go to here in this area. Oh, I had the latest 3D printers and scanners. Stratasys, if anyone knows Stratasys, came out of Israel. So Josh Reibel was asking about, super chatted me even about Israeli companies. It's interesting, all these like converting quarterly. So a whole magazine about like energy conversion, pretty technical. So Stratasys is a partially Israeli company. I don't know. Here's another Chinese company, Sioma Science Technology in research in Jingzhen Science Garden in Nanjing, China. And it looks like a separator of raw materials. Their raw materials probably relate to lithium, is I think some of the largest lithium supplies. Here's another one, KT Magnet, because batteries is related to electricity, and magnets are very popular in there. So here you have from Ningbo, China, KT Magnet. It's cool stuff, like a whole, other stuff just for facilities. So not all of them are directly batteries. Some of them are. I really have huge stacks. In fact, they had Chinese companies that actually sell you the whole material to have a production line to make batteries. Electric and hybrid, whole like huge magazine. If people are interested in electric hybrid cars, they were selling. They were give all this stuff away. Here's a Korean company, EG Tronics, Korean. Korea's pretty high tech these days, so you see a ever more increasing a number of Korean companies coming up. There's this Chinese, this is Japanese company, Yokogawa, weight measurements. Here's another Chinese company. This is traded on the NASDAQ, CBAC, Lithium Battery Solutions. So this is already traded on the NASDAQ. It's probably a huge company. Whoever owns this is probably a billionaire. And it's only 2001. So you think this company, CBAC, that's traded on the NASDAQ, that makes lithium batteries, was only founded in 2001. And you say they make just a handful of batteries in the various ones in specification. As I was saying, it's automotive is the biggest customer for almost everything in the manufacturing world. So they come here to America largely to get involved in the international automotive. There's a whole bunch of company. Here's charging for driving plug-in electric vehicles. So Degson is, well, St. Petersburg, Florida is their U.S., but this is in Ningbo, China. Where do you say Ningbo is where Confucius is from? So yeah, Ningbo, another company, German, Denmark company. But really China, design news. China is really dominating batteries. So it's interesting. Here was German, the people who gave me the pin, the German embassy was there advertising, the European Union advertising people who do business in Europe. These whole huge books on the state of technology across Europe. I mean, here's a common example, GoBill IMS converting ideas, and you see that they're Italy, Germany, China, India, and the U.S. So all of these companies, as they get big, will have Yantai. All of these companies, as they get big, will become international because the supply chain for all these companies is international. So you'll see the slowly as they get bigger, the spreading out. Is this one Chinese? Fihong. Here's another Chinese company. I'm not sure if it gives their headquarters or location. Another charger, electric vehicle charger. It's headquartered in Taiwan. It has a science and technology center in Dongguan City in China. So I'm going to read through as much of these as possible and try to speak to some of these more people tomorrow. Here's a huge one, Grab Electromobility. They make production and assembly lines for various things. They'll set up whole factories, and you can see they're everywhere. Brazil, China, Italy, Poland, Switzerland, Hungary, Russia. But if you look on the map, they have quite a few in China, in Europe, and now they're trying to spread into the U.S. So, the various styles. Some of these companies first go into the U.S. Here's another Chinese company, EV Charger Power Modules and Solutions, Infi Power. If Yuan's here, he reads the Chinese. So the Infi Power, it's in the Baoan district, Shenzhen. Yeah, there are quite a few from Shenzhen. Here's another Chinese company in Taizhou City in the Zhejiang province, that new energy vehicle transmission technologies. And these have the books because in China they have, as I said, these dormitory style places where the workers all live by the factory. So actually some German companies still, and you can see how beautiful high-tech their facilities are. So I mean, you really can't compete with these Chinese companies. And as I said, even with Trump's tariffs and whatever, I thought maybe you would have seen some decrease in the amount of companies from China. But even with the tariffs in something like batteries, it would be extremely unlikely that we're going to be able to compete with China. On other things, possibly like clothing and things that are just made cheaply, but there's multiple reasons why China is dominating. Phoenix Contact actually has manufacturers in it's Canada, U.S., and Mexico. They have a whole huge variety of electric charging stations. I got their whole book of hundreds of the little devices they sell related to charging. It's another Genopic. I have to read through these, but I mean, you can see almost all of these components have departments in China. So even if they're not Chinese, here's another Chinese company, Charud Electronics. Although, so I have to read through to see even what these components and devices like switchers or various electrical engineering. The science behind this is actually quite complicated. So I've been going into it for a few years. Here's another, some more Chinese letters. I shook hands with at least 100 people from China. Well, I mean, the tariffs might make a difference for some things, but yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like Taiwan. Listen, Rogers is not a Chinese company; they're a silicon material. And this one actually has even examples of some of the silicon that they sell, and they give a little example. So I don't think we're going to be able to come back. I got business cards from people in China, Shenzhen. This is a great Chinese company, XCJ, cable welding and winding equipment. So I mean, this could be like $1 billion company. Things like they make huge machinery, and they make like hundreds of complicated machines, and the books in Chinese and English. XCJ winding expert in the Guangming New District of Shenzhen. Here's another one. DLJ lithium-ion battery expert product catalog. Here's another one. Amphenol, another Chinese hybrid electric vehicles. So I was saying the battery industry is basically, I mean, most of these Chinese companies, as I said, they have partners from another Shenzhen one. Here's a specific product, a specific battery pack made in China that they're selling here. This one's in Shanghai, another DEC. So when you look and you see there's more billionaires in China than there are in America, you could see, look at all these companies out of China that make, just in batteries. I'm sure there's tens, maybe hundreds of billionaires in, these manufacturing components. Another Shenzhen company, integrated equipment supplier related to batteries. Here's another Haidai. This is probably a huge company, Haidai, that makes hundreds, maybe thousands of devices from Shandong. Yeah, I mean, so tariffs aren't going to stop that. Tariffs will only stop for things that are unnecessarily being produced cheaply in China unnecessarily. But for the point that China is just out competing us, and like lithium, if the lithium comes from China, their manufacturing processes. So even like these German companies like Rampef, the huge companies are heavily based in China. PPG that makes materials. So you're seeing they have Chinese components that these international companies have probably set themselves up. So like PPG is a huge company. I'm not sure if it started in America or Germany, but they've internationalized themselves. Wherever they're registered, that they could probably shift their business. Here's another Shenzhen Hin Technology, and this might be a small company, a relatively small company. More Chinese companies. Hoeswell. Here's a complete lithium-ion, another one from the Guangdong province, Dongzhong City. So I'll go back tomorrow, but I shook hands with hundreds of people from China today, and go back tomorrow, and I'm going to try to read through like once I'm done. Here was an interesting Chinese company called Sea Friend. So I don't know if they just chose the name Friend. This is in Kushan City, China. And they actually make devices for solar energy. So also solar energy is very popular in China. This one, like I was mentioning, the electric buses. This is a German company, but I think they have counterparts in China. But I think China is one of the leading countries in the world in terms of electrified buses. And they even have electrified ships. Here's in India, China. I don't know what the Kazakh. Anyone know what the Kazakh KOSDAQ DAC is. If it's KOSDAC, so this is listed on the Kazakh PNE Energy. They make all types of machinery. Here's another one, Shenzhen Kangguo in Kasatu City. Let me see what this Kazakh is. I'm just going to search that real quick. Okay, Kazakh is actually South Korea. So Kazakh is South Korean. That's not Chinese. But you see a growing amount of South Korean companies. Here's another Chinese company in the Saozhou Industrial Park in Jiangsu. Battery safety. So I'm actually, once I lift off, I'm gonna start reading through these. Epson. People heard of Epson Robotics. So if people had enough to invest in a roboticized production line, and some of these Chinese companies are fully roboticized too. It's not just cheap labor. It's actually Hitachi. Obviously, I think Hitachi's Japanese, but they've been around for a long time. Dürr, a famous German company. I think Ricardo is Italian. So there are some high quality parts made out of this has Korea and India. So here's ironically a company that doesn't have offices in China. ET is Europe and Korean and Indian companies. So here's the guide to the show. It has a list of all the companies. I'll have to go through it. Nordson, huge amount of offices. You can see South Korea, China, India, Europe, America. So the bigger companies are all international. Atlas Comco, and a lot of these have Michigan, components because if you're in the automotive industry, eventually you'll set up an office in Metro Detroit. So, saying that all of these companies that are increasing in their global operation and increase in the international automobile supply, because you could be an Asian automotive supply company that supplies to largely, Korean, Chinese, Japanese automakers, but eventually they'll find their way to the U.S. and eventually they'll open an office in Metro Detroit. Megger, U.S., Canada, the Power Solutions. So I think that was it. Here's the Automotive Journal, all these different. Here's another one, Set Fuse, in the Torch High Tech Industrial District in Zhengan, and these make like sensors, pressure. You see a picture of their dormitory style facility. Okay, here's a huge one. Also Zhengzhen, Zhangri. You see all the different things that they make, hundreds of different pieces that they make. Here's their product guide. Here's the Kizhou Group. The Kizhou Group, they're probably a huge company. They're all over China. You can see their type facilities in China. They only go back to 1993. So, see this huge Chinese company, multi-billion-dollar company, was only founded in 1993. Some of them much more recently. The AGA Group, whatever this is, AGA Group. Okay, so I guess I'm going to log off. Thanks for tuning in, Zan. Thanks for joining me and giving me some insight about China. I'm going to spend the rest of the night reading through this stuff and preparing for another day tomorrow. If anybody wants to tune in tomorrow, I probably won't live stream because I wasn't able to get high quality video live streaming, so I'll probably just record it and upload it tomorrow. And actually, this battery show, I think it's 4 times a year, once in China, once in either Japan or South Korea, once in Germany, and once in the U.S. And the U.S. one is in Detroit, because the biggest purchaser of batteries is the automotive industry, and currently the most, even though Detroit has been hollowed out and manufacturing has been severely hurt here, still, if you're looking for one central place in North America to have a show related to automotive industry, that is still Detroit. So I appreciate everyone tuning in. God bless. Have a great night. Hope people enjoyed the chess, and check out my ramble about batteries today on site. You get a little view, and tomorrow I'll have a much more in-depth video. They'll have HD recordings. You could see some of these huge machinery. Some of these companies, even the Chinese companies have supply representatives here in America, so some of them even have like huge equipment set up and examples of this huge machinery that could be purchased that will be on display here in Detroit. So thanks for tuning in. God bless. Have a great night, everyone.